Hi, Mick Dombrowski with GameStick. Today I want to show you how to follow the instructions for the GameStick. Some people are having difficulty just connecting all the pieces together. So I want to go through each step with you. First thing with your GameStick, take it out of the package. Inside you're going to have three parts. And on the back you have an orange band, which we'll use later on. So on the back there are instructions, but sometimes there's still difficulty with connecting the piece. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to have the actual GameStick. This piece, it's going to snap into the back of the phone mount. You can see there are slots and they get narrow, so that's the direction you want to slide it in until it snaps into place. Right now you can see the grooves are facing up and down and the bars are here. So what you want to do is put the GameStick piece in and you want to turn it until it clicks. So now you have the slots facing out to the side. And I'm just going to set it down and you can actually pop the GameStick a piece apart here, take this piece off, slide it in, and the small grooves are facing this way. So what I do to allow extra pressure, because this is the toughest part to get it to snap in, you're going to put your thumbs on the back side and your index fingers and even your middle fingers on the front, applying the pressure to this edge, not to the arms. The GameStick's very sturdy, but the arms can break. So if you apply the pressure using your thumbs, squeeze them together, and you can hear that loud snap. It should not move at all. It should be very tight. Now what you can do is this will turn for your adjustments, and we're going to talk about the little lock on the back in a little bit. So right now you have this snapped in together. Place your GameStick, the ball joint in, it snaps in, and now you're going to screw the nut on nice and tight. And in order for that, you can, if it's moving, just lock it into place. There's a little slide button, and sometimes you have to wiggle, just twist it a little bit so it fits into the notch to keep it. Now it doesn't turn. Now I can get the nut real tight, and you want to get it about as tight as you can. Get it so it just doesn't move anymore. And now you could still adjust it. It's a little bit harder, but it stays in place. It's not going to move while you shoot. Now you have a GameStick. You get it set up however your adjustments are, and make sure it's locked in before you go hunting. Any kind of recoil, even from a crossbow, if this little slide button is not out, it can turn on impact. So you want to get it locked into place, make sure it doesn't turn, and now you can remove the card, and now you have your GameStick. It's ready to go. In order to open it, to get your phone in, you just push in the release button at the top. When you hold it in, the arms will open up automatically. If it's too much of an adjustment, hold in the button and open it up. Now that your GameStick's open, you insert your phone and you squeeze it nice and tight. Try not to put the pressure on the top part of the arms. You want to get it into the base where it's solid and get it locked in nice and tight. And I'll explain how to mount it on, and we'll go over some other helpful tips that I think will help you in the field. So right now I'm going to move over, show you how to put it on a rifle, which would be the same as a branch. Anything you have, your tree stand, a crossbow scope. So this is the scope. I have a different mount up front for a night light, and you're going to use the figure 8 mount, and I like to unscrew it. I attach the GameStick and I pinch it at the top. Once it's pinched on the top, you're going to set it down on the scope, and then you're going to tighten it. Once you have it nice and tight, then you can make all your other adjustments. You can unlock it and get it into place so it's nice and straight, and everything should be nice and tight. What I like to do, this one is set up a little different, but I want to show you that this mount should be up on the front. This isn't too bad here. It's a low recoil 243, but usually you want the phone mount up on the front part of the scope. So you have extra eye relief between there and your phone, so you're not bumping into it, especially with the hat and visor. Keep it up in the front. This is a little different setup. Once you have it on there, you get your phone, and what I like to do once you get into the field, one of the most important things, put it on video mode or camera mode, and with your phone set up on here, you want to pinch out to zoom your phone in all the way in, as far as it'll go. Pick an object out, especially if you're archery hunting, about 30 yards. That's about your main goal for hunting, around 30 yards. You zoom it in at 30 yards, and then you look through your scope and make sure that it's at the exact same point. And then now you know that it's ready, it's set up, and you're ready to use it. You back off the zoom, and whenever a deer or your game comes in, if you have to zoom in a little bit, which is always recommended, don't overdo it. You can always video and crop it later. With it in there, then you know that you don't have to make any phone adjustments at that point. If you zoom in, sometimes it's not going to be centered, you're going to have to move it, and you don't want to waste your time with that. A couple other things, I have game sticks for every weapon. I recommend it. And the reason I do that, I don't like doing these adjustments every time I go out into the field. Just in case it gets bumped, you're pulling something up, climbing in a tree stand, going through weeds. Sometimes the game stick gets bumped and it's off. Once I have it set up exactly how I want, I zoom it in at 30 yards, I know this one is going to be for this gun only or this bow. What I do is go to the dollar store and get some super glue gel. That's what I recommend. And I actually glue, I'll spin it towards you, I glue the little bracket that we snapped in, I go right around it, I glue that, and I also glue the ball joint that we put in there, that little pivot joint, and I put some glue on the inside of that nut. Don't ever glue the mount, you want to be able to get it off of your weapon at some point, but once you glue it, then you never have to worry about zooming in to get it to focus. So that's one of my biggest tips. Also, especially when you're heading out to the field, if it's first light or evening, last light, make sure you dim your camera so you don't have that light reflecting on your face. You know that it's on, you know it's sighted in, hit record, and even if you can't see the game, you know it's there once you play it back. So those are some of your tips, and right now we're going to go on. Some people have the new mount, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. So rifle scopes don't have a problem. They have enough room. Just about all of them have enough room here to get the figure 8 mount. But there are some, especially the newer crossbow scopes, and here's one here. If you add the rings on, you don't have any room to add the figure 8 mount on, and it's becoming a problem. So anytime there's a problem, we want to try to do the best that we can, and we've come out with a different mount. I'll show you this mount. If you ever ordered, it's everything in the orange bag. Inside you're going to have your scope rings. There's going to be 2 scope rings in here. On these scope rings, they're a little different than your standard. They're going to have the top rail. So it'll look like this. So with a package, you're going to have different options. You could replace your scope rings. That's what I recommend doing, except for the fact some of you are already into your archery season. It's too soon. It's just right around the corner. You don't have enough time to sight in everything. So if you take a look, and this is going to basically be for crossbows, this top scope ring, if you take it off, the only thing you're going to have to do, if it matches up, if it's the right size, and if it only has 1 screw hole, the best thing to do is use your furthest scope ring, take the top off only, and this way your scope doesn't move. Replace it with this top ring only, and now you're set. If your scope ring does not match up, then unfortunately you're going to have to replace both of your scope rings with the 2 rings that come with it. And just do that, same adjustments, and now you're going to have the option with the rail on top. The next bag inside the orange bag is going to be the new mount. This new mount, you're going to see it's raised up. It's a nice tall mount to give you the clearance for your phone. You can see it's nice and tall. And you're also going to see two plastic pieces. They will connect together just like a puzzle. One has a notch and one has a pin. And they just go together. And what you're going to do is you're going to place the plastic pieces around your game stick. So it fits on like this. Then you're going to loosen up your screws on top of your new mount. You will slide it over and give it a nice snug fit. Once you have everything together, the only thing you have to do now is loosen up and connect it right on your top rail. As I said, this top rail here is different. It's a different setup. But yours would be on top of your scope ring, and then you would just tighten it, and that's all you have to do. It won't move, and this one is definitely one you want to glue because there's no adjustments. When you get home or you're in the field, you don't even have to leave it on top. You could actually take it off, play with your phone in the tree stand with the mount and everything if you'd like. And then you just put it on whenever game starts coming in or it's getting close to prime time. Turn it with the screw a little bit, hand tight, and you're solid. You're ready for the game. I also recommend making sure that it's horizontal. You get a better field of view. Some people, they like it vertical up on top. It's up to you. If you're going to use it for vertical, there are the little feet that slide out of the bottom. When the feet are out of the bottom, then your phone won't slide down, even on impact. So once you have it on, I'm going to put the game stick back on and show you how to use the bands. With the newer crossbows, they're shooting over 400 feet per second. This is something that you're going to have to make sure that you use the bands on. The phone shouldn't go flying out, even with a high recoil gun, but you want to capture the video. You don't want your shot being lost right at as soon as you pull the trigger. So we're going to make sure we get it horizontal, tighten it on the top, and now you're given a band, and you can use any band you want. I give you an orange band with it. You open it up, place your phone in, lock it into place nice and tight, squeezing close to the edge, not out on the end. You take your rubber band, and this band will go over the top. It'll go around your phone and connect onto the bottom. So I'll show you again. So you take, once your phone's in place, you will take the rubber band down over your phone and around the bottom part. And this way you have two bands crossing over the phone. And what happens if you don't use the band and you're shooting something with higher recoil or even a crossbow shooting, 480 feet per second, the bottom of your phone has a tendency to bump out, and that's where you're going to lose your picture. So if you keep this on, it keeps it safe even when you're carrying it in the field, so you don't drop your phone halfway to your tree stand. It's a good idea to keep it on, and also you're always ready now. Another thing that I recommend when you're in the field, a lot of times I just keep the band, I just lay it over the top. If you have your phone in your hand, sometimes it's on here. It just depends what time it is. If you're doing an all-day sit, sometimes I just put my phone in my hand. And the way that I take it out of the game stick is I just pivot, take the top and just lean it out, and it'll come out without moving the arms. And then if I see deer movement and I'm getting ready, I just put the phone in and I slide it, and these arms give enough where it kind of snaps into place without you having to click it. If you want to adjust it, you're in the middle of the woods and you have game around, you don't want it to make a noise. And you can see, you release the button, but when you slide the arms, they make a noise. Obviously, we don't want any kind of noise in the field. So if I open it up, it's pretty quiet. Now when I want to shut it, if you want to shut it quietly, you hold the release button down, and now you slide the arms together, and it doesn't make the clicking noise until you get it nice and tight. So there's a couple helpful hints. Hopefully it'll help you in the field. Hopefully it'll get everybody to understand how to snap the game stick into the phone mount. And then anytime you have questions, please call me, text me, email me. You can go through the website, use the business card that I sent with your game stick. Anything you need, we're here to help you guys. If you have any advice and tips, we're always trying to improve our product year after year. We've been in business for 6 years, and everyone seems to be really happy. We want to continue that and keep up with the new technology. We also have a Bluetooth button. I was at the Harrisburg Outdoor Show, and somebody said, you know, it'd be nice if we had a button. So we went out, we found the Bluetooth button. It's very simple. The directions are a little confusing in there, if you can even read them. It's very tiny print. Once you have your Bluetooth button, you turn your phone on Bluetooth, make sure it's on, and on the side of the Bluetooth button, you'll see it flashing blue. And that means it's trying to find your phone. Go on, connect with it, and you can always Velcro it to the side of your crossbow or gun. Whenever the deer gets in close, you hit the button, and now it's recording. Those are your tips for today. Thank you very much.